brand saturation, brand fatigue. Is this also a reality in today's
Absolutely.
day and time? You see him everywhere. He talks to you morning, day, evening, afternoon, almost every time. What does that lead us to?
It's very similar to watching the news hour every evening. We don't get tired. We watch it every night. It's the best network on the planet. We love all of you.
News
We
hour
don't
is
get
not
tired.
contesting
We see
election.
Navika, we see
Suhel.
Deepti, we see Madhav, we see Padmaja every day. We're not tired. We're invigorated. We're encouraged. We're inspired.
But
Now
news hour,
add Narendra Modi to that and then you can see how more inspired we are. But on a serious note, yes, there is brand fatigue. But remember, you're talking about 1.4 billion people, not people who have bunked office to attend a summit. I'm done.
he's done. I couldn't believe that he's done, because there's so much more to brand Modi, Suhel. Let's be a little bit more serious, because this is also the challenge that I think the opposition today is facing. When you're looking at brand Modi, that many say is getting even more powerful to what he was, say, in 2014 to 2019 to now in 2024. He began with saying, "Bahut hua mahilaon par waar, ab ki baar Modi sarkar. Bahut hui महंगाई की मार, ab ki baar Modi sarkar." That's how the narrative began in 2014. 2019 was Balakot, Pulwama, nationalism surge. And you saw in him someone who could deliver. This time it's about Modi ki guarantee. Versus, where is the opposition? Is there any single brand that you see can even fight together? Is that even possible?
No, of course there are brands. To be fair, Rahul Gandhi is a pan-national brand. But often some brands are also there on the shelf because of longevity, not because of relevance. So he will remain there. But the point is, who will you buy? भाई आप जब किराने स्टोर में जाते हैं, आपको जॉनसन बैंडेड भी मिलती है और कोई बैंडेड भी मिलती है और वो बैंडेड सारी जिंदगी रहेंगी. पर आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि आपके जख्म के लिए सही बैंडेड कौन सी है. और मैं आपको कहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी, with all due respect, and I have to say, after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, I said, and I will maintain, he did a great job of brand revival and brand redefinition. To give him credit. But he lost steam. So come back to my original point. It is about consistency and it's about focus. One day he talks about caste census. The next day he talks about, making aloo out of gold or whatever the hell. Now to even keep up with him, I mean, it's easier to keep up with Mehbood's films than to, listen to all of this. So, I mean, every day he's flitting. Now you asked a very important question about Modi ki guarantee, the slogans. Let me give you an example. I this published material. I've written about it September 2008. I went to meet Modi in his house in Gandhinagar. He was the chief minister. And he says, I want to show you a book that has come out, which my government has prepared. You know what that book was? On the gift city. 2008. We're talking about 16 years ago. Then he asked me, he says, Suhel bhai, kal kahan ja rahe hain? I said, Bombay. तो मिस्टर टाटा को मिलेंगे. ऐसे बोलिए. He says, उनको बोलिए कि अब वो नैनो सिंगूर से तो निकल गया, यहाँ पे ले आए. I said, I will convey this to Mr. Tata. Nano happened, and Mr. Tata has admitted that in various interviews. It happened because of Narendra Modi. And today, Sanad has been converted into the Detroit of the west of India thanks to Narendra Modi. So he's a man who gets things done. He's a man who makes things happen. The next speaker you have is Hardeep Singh Puri. Ask Hardeep, how many court cases were filed against Hardeep Puri's government, against Prime Minister Modi on Kartavya Path? Did it happen? It happened. You see, जब कारवां चलता है और stray dogs भौंकते हैं, कारवां रुकता नहीं. कारवां चलते जा रहा है. That's the hallmark of great brands. You continue to do your work. You can't be stopping to answer every diatribe which is either unsubstantiated or meaningless or purposefully distractive. That's not possible.
Okay, now, just to push that point a little further, Suhel, sometimes what happens, you might have a good, decent brand, but you don't have the strategy, the wherewithal, perhaps that many eyeballs that can make that brand even, getting any closer to a brand like Narendra Modi. Do you think that also plagues the opposition? And the very fact today that you have a leader in Narendra Modi who is not just working on ground, he speaks to people directly, he coins these slogans, these acronyms, the government is all over the place, connecting with people, but the opposition somewhere is not visible. Does this mean that they are not working at all? Or you believe a part of that PR strategy also perhaps for the opposition has gone wrong?
No, I think the opposition is working. But I don't know which country they're working for or in. They seem to be fighting the elections in Fiji or Greenland or something like that. But they're certainly not fighting election in India. Because if they were, Rahul Gandhi, before his Bharat Jodo Nyay or Bharat Nyay Jodo, whatever the hell it is, he would have reached out to Mamata Banerjee. The first person who decried the Congress was their alliance partner Mamata, who said they will not even get 40 seats this time in Parliament. This is your own ally disbelieving you. How the hell do you expect the voter to believe you? A. B. You never have alliance partners who have egos bigger than their ideologies. Today, an Akhilesh Yadav or Tejasvi Yadav or, Stalin, each guy thinks he's born to be Prime Minister. Why the hell should they listen to Rahul Gandhi? Now let's get back to legacy. Indira Gandhi died on October 31, 1984. Rajiv Gandhi died in May 1991. Fair? 1991 till now. So let's imagine a person is 30 years old. He doesn't even know what Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi have done. So he doesn't even have the context of legacy. He doesn't even have the context of history. That's the problem. And as you rightly said, I think, this is my belief, that the Congress needs a strategy. But the first leg of that strategy must be Rahul Gandhi must step aside. He is not someone who can inspire. He's not someone who can lead. He may be a very good human being. He may be very bright. But as of now, he's intellectually innocent. Until he proves us wrong, he must step aside. Because he will cause a lot of damage to the long-term benefit of the Congress party. And let's be fair. India needs an opposition. But it is not Narendra Modi's job to go to Khan Market every morning looking for an opposition to buy.
Now, Suhel, even as you make that point, and our audience here, I'm glad they're having a good laugh on this. But just think of this. See, that you've spoken about Mamata Banerjee and a lot of other leaders. They say that Rahul Gandhi is the biggest TRP for Narendra Modi. The very fact today that you have a brand Rahul, perhaps not as strong as a brand Modi, that adds to brand Modi also. It gives him that bump, So the very fact that you will have him being compared to an Arvind Kejriwal, to an M.K. Stalin, you go down south, does that change the narrative? Especially, in the southern part of the country. Why does brand Modi weaken when you come down to south?
Which school did you go to?
That is not a part of the question.
No, I'll tell you why. If you went to school as you did, and you came first in class, and it was a class of 38 people, but 37 of them were such big duffers, would you feel happy coming first? I would much rather come first where I'm surrounded by geniuses and then beating them is fun. Can I tell you, Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, yes, but it's no fun for, competition. You need great competition. The fact that, and I'm not saying this, no one has paid me yet, the fact that Times Now network has ruled the roost for so long is because you all have a damn good brand. You have a good product. If you had a terrible product and great strategy, it wouldn't work. If you had a great product and no strategy, you would fail. That's the problem with the opposition today. So even if they have a great product regionally, they have a very, very poor strategic bent of mind. And you know why? They are planning for tomorrow. Modi is planning for 2047. When you plan for 2047, you play chess. When you plan for tomorrow, you play kabaddi. That's the difference.
Okay. What about brand BJP here? Where does brand BJP go? And is there a danger, like, because you spoke about brand Indira also, when you have a personality cult and perhaps a brand becoming so huge that it subsumes all.
Elizabeth I defined the England of that time. So Napoleon defined what was happening in France. The Tsars defined what was happening in Russia. Then came Lenin. Then came Stalin. You had Nasser in Egypt. You had, I was about to say Salman Khan. You had Saddam Hussein in Iraq. So it is very difficult to say, can you separate? Why should you separate the brands? Narendra Modi is the elected Prime Minister of India. He's not the nominated Prime Minister. He has not come through the back door. He has won an election. So he and the aspirations of brand India, if they are intertwined, it's better for the brand Deepti. And it's better for both brands because they will need each other for sustenance and for growth.
Okay, even when you say that, I'm being informed that a lot of our viewers would also want to take questions. So we'll open the session in just a moment. We'll get the mics to you where you are. But before that, I just want to use this opportunity, Suhel, to squeeze in one quick question. In spite of whatever we say, in spite of whatever's discussed here, why is it that for the Western press still, there is a problem with brand Modi? Is it because, of the history? Is it because of the fact that they cannot digest the fact that India is on its way to becoming a superpower, or India today has a voice? I mean, why? Why is the Western press still so against brand Modi?
So again, without asking you which school you went to, I assume you did read William Shakespeare. If you did, there's a play, Julius Caesar, in which Mark Antony asks Brutus, why did you stab Caesar? Brutus's response is brilliant, Shakespeare. He says, it's not that I loved Caesar less, I loved Rome more. It's not that the Western press hates Modi less. They hate the success of India more. And the more you react, the more they will get under your skin. Treat them like the barking dog and treat yourself as the caravan. You don't need to respond to every barking dog. If you say, but why did the New York Times do this? Why did the Washington Post? ਕੀ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ? ਕਿਉਂ ਕਲੇਸ਼ ਮੋਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ? ਕਿਉਂ ਸਿਆਪਾ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ? ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਰਨ ਦਿਓ ਜੋ ਕਰ ਦੇਣ. Why? You know, there's an old saying in Bengali, and Bengalis were always, you know, I'm more Bengali than Punjabi, but they're always self-victims. You ask a Bengali, কেমন দাদা সব ঠিক আছে? এই কেটে যাচ্ছে রক্ত বের হচ্ছে না. Mean my neck is cut but no blood is coming out. That is the situation with New York Times and Washington Post. আমেরিকার নেক কেটে যাচ্ছে কিন্তু রক্ত বের হচ্ছে না. এই জন্য তো আপনাদের পিছনে আছে. ইগনোর করুন.
Okay, we can have a good laugh at that. We'll get the mics coming to the audiences in case someone wants to take a question. Anyone? Okay,
Yes.
I see a hand going up there on the left and the right both. If we can have the mics going there, please. And do remember you're asking your question to brand Suhel Seth. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Go on, please.
Thanks for the keynote, Suhel. Like, it was great, and I would say I resonate to most of it, but like, the first question would be, like, when you say brand Modi or somebody as a leader, and you're like, setting him up to one of the best standards, like, how important is for a leader to choose a successor, and where do you see him, let's say, on that path?
Yogi Adityanath, Amit Shah, Nitin Gadkari, what's your name? Pranab?
Pranav Virmani.
Pranav Virmani, sab possible hai, jeet ke aao.
Yeah, definitely, but like, when you, like,
Can I tell you, these are all old management notions. Will you please choose a successor? Have you asked Jamie Dimon that? Do you know who he is?
yeah.
Have you asked him that? Deepak Parekh ran HDFC, I think, longer than India's freedom struggle. Did you ask him that? Why? How is it relevant? Let me tell you, the BJP is a cadre-run party. They will have a succession plan in place. The only problem is they haven't had the time to share it with you. Once you're free and you tell them, they'll come and visit you and share the plan.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, a quick follow-up question before we take another from the gentleman there on the right who raised his hand. He just spoke about a number of names, Yogi Adityanath, Amit Shah and all. Sohail, are these equally big brands?
You know, I want to
Or
take
they
you...
all come under the umbrella of brand Modi only?
So let's have a very interesting history session again. India has never predicted a future prime minister other than Jawaharlal Nehru. And let me take you through history today. If I miss one or two, don't miss. Pandit Nehru died on May 27, 1964. Everyone thought that, Morarji would become or whatever. You had Gulzari Lal Nanda as interim. You had Lal Bahadur Shastri. He died. It was not Indira Gandhi's turn. She became. Did you ever imagine that Narasimha Rao would be Prime Minister? Did you ever imagine I.K. Gujral would be Prime Minister? I think even I.K. Gujral never imagined he'd be Prime Minister. Deve Gowda slept through his Prime Ministership. Did you ever imagine Charan Singh would be Prime Minister? Chandrasekhar would be Prime Minister? When Vajpayee became Prime Minister, everyone thought Advaniji would be Prime Minister. When Advaniji thought he would be Prime Minister, Narendra Modi became Prime Minister. Have you ever predicted a Prime Minister other than Nehru? No. So, jab hoga, to hoga, to quote Sam Petroda, hua, to hua. You must always keep the opposition happy.
Okay, I just have time for one quick question. Can we have just the mic?
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there? Yes.
Barkha.
Quickly, because our next guest, the Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, is also waiting, I'm told.
Yeah, it was,
yes.
It was wonderful to hear Suhel brand. And you can...
See, we've turned him into a
yes,
big brand
he's already a big
yes,
brand,
yes.
like Modi ji. Many of you wanted to know, everybody talks about Modi's successes. Anywhere, in one place, can you mention where he failed and you want to improve him?
I think it's a very myopic way of defining great brands. You know, in every packet of cornflakes or cereals, there'll be one ingredient that you may not like, but you don't define that cereal by that. Let me go back to what I have said essentially. You've got to understand the DNA of great brands. Great brands are about consistency, they're about focus, but most importantly, they're about getting things done. Atashi and whatever her surname is, I can never pronounce it, Marlena or Marlena or whatever, she says Arvind Kejriwal is an idea. But you know what? an idea, if it is not executed, no one sees it. It's like a ship in the night. It sails, but you don't see it. Modi's difference is he has been able to set an example of delivery. Modi's ministers, of which one of the most eminently successful minister here, Hardeep, whose wife is a far better author than most in this room, Lakshmi, let me tell you what they have achieved. And I've said this to Hardeep, I've said this time and time over again. The BJP's only failure has been in marketing itself. The Congress's only success has been in marketing its failures. Now figure that one out. So when I tell you that the Prime Minister does not need to do, as we would say in Ambersar, tindora pitna. That's not his job. His job is to make sure that people live with dignity. He's done that. His job is to make sure that he replaces coal cooking ovens made out of matti with gas cylinders. He's done that. Direct benefit transfer, done that. 370, done that. I don't know how many of you go to Srinagar as often as I do. Talk to every person. Earlier when you went to Srinagar, they would say, "Aap Hindustan se aaye hain?" Today they don't say that. Because Modi has made them Indians. He has not converted them into angry Kashmiris, which the Nehrus had done. And I must say this. Let me also tell you, I travel overseas once every 2 weeks. Nowhere and at no point in time has India been taken more seriously, with greater panache, with more pride than it has been taken today. It takes a great leader to encourage his people to believe that they can conquer the world. You know, I started with that unicorn story about VFS. Today, we are the world's largest providers of unicorns. We have great authors. We have great scientists. We have sent people to the, we have sent vehicles to the moon for less than the cost of a Hollywood film. Would that have been possible if your leader said, "I don't believe in you"? And now I will end by just saying one thing. You asked me the fundamental problem of the Congress. From its utterances, the Congress hates the idea of India. They love India's idea, but they hate the idea of India. And they hate the success that Indians are capable of. Today, what Modi has done is he's come with a giant human saw of encouragement and unshackled every Indian. He has made every Indian believe in him or herself, and he's told the world that if you're Indian, the world is your oyster. For that and that alone, we need to be grateful that a man like him passed the annals of India. That apart, you've got a great television network with very powerful anchors such as yourself and Navika. And on that note, I must leave because you mustn't keep a minister waiting, no matter which government it is.
Fascinating conversation. Thank you so much, Suhel. Thank you.